So it's just a lot more pressure, and I enjoy it. But once I moved into directing, I felt like I didn't, wasn't necessarily going to go back to DP.
For the people that run into this video and they are aspiring director of photography,
Yeah.
what's your recommendation? How do they get into that? All right, guys, my Cine Gear Expo YouTube life starts right here. I'm here with Antonio Alvendia. I'm Edmund Austin. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is my first time here. This is the first time I'm YouTubing about gear and product. What are your thoughts to recap the day of what they're going to see here in this video?
So I thought Cine Gear Expo is really exciting. It gave us a chance to connect with people that actually work at the brands and the gear makers for the stuff that we use every day on our productions, right? And then also it gave us a chance to check out new and emerging technologies and products that could just make our lives easier. So there was a lot of cool new stuff, right? Unfortunately, places like Cine Gear and NAB always cause me to spend money. But it's because I care about my craft and because I care about what my imagery looks like. Because if I didn't care, I wouldn't spend the money to do all this stuff. So if you care, going to places like this is actually really beneficial because you get to see the latest and greatest in the industry.
I'll never be the best filmmaker in the room, and honestly, that's never been the goal. For most of my career, I've helped build brands. I spent more than 15 years in corporate sales, helping companies find their voice, connect with people, and tell stories that mattered. 3 years ago, I bet on myself. I picked up a camera, built a team around video-first storytelling, and started learning a different side of the craft of building brands. Not from a boardroom, but from behind the lens. This channel isn't about having all the answers. It's about staying curious, following the stories that inspire me, the people who challenge me, the places that change my perspective, and the moments that remind me why I fell in love with storytelling in the first place. So come along, let's see where this journey takes us.
We are in NBC Universal at the back lot right now for Cine Gear.
And I get to meet this fine gentleman right here, all the way from...
Well, yeah, here now, but yeah, Vancouver and England.
All right, we've been chatting already. I'm like, this is exactly how I want to start off my YouTube channel. So this is how you're seeing my new YouTube channel with Elliott here. Tell us what you did recently.
So last movie I directed was called Reckless. It's out in the cinemas now across the US. And in the UK you can watch it on Sky TV and Now TV. So it's an action comedy with Scott Adkins and Vinnie Jones.
Tell us how your movie's doing so far.
It's doing good. It's doing really good. I mean, obviously, like I said, it's being overshadowed by Backrooms and Obsession, but they're super cool. So it depends what you want to go and see. You want to go see horror, but you want to go see action comedy, you come to us. And it seems to be doing, it did really well in the UK, but it's doing much better in the US, I think, because of it's such an English movie, because it's like Chopper meets True Romance through the lens of Baz Luhrmann.
How'd you get started?
I got started in 2006 as a camera trainee and film loader on Doctor Who. And then just worked my way up in the camera department. Eventually became a cam op for a long time, and then started DPing and realizing that was incredibly stressful.
Is it really?
Oh yeah.
Why?
Because as a cam op, you're there and you're gonna make things look pretty, make things look great. All you've got to worry about is if you're making sure that you're there on time, you're listening to direction well. Whereas when you're DPing, you're head of the camera and lighting department, right? So you're if some shit gets fucked, you just gotta then. How long is it going to be until this is back up? How long have we got until this? It's constant pressure of that mixed with curbing the expectations of certain people and trying to bring the director's vision to light and things like that. So it's just a lot more pressure, and I enjoy it. But once I moved into directing, I felt like I didn't, wasn't necessarily going to go back to DP.
For the people that run into this video and they are aspiring director of photography,
yeah,
what's your recommendation? How do they get into that?
I feel like my take on it is coming from a cam op perspective for so many years, jumping into being a DP. I feel like personally the best DPs are normally gaffers.
Why?
Because they know lights. They're like, when it came to the first thing I DP'd, like my knowledge on lighting was actually pretty limited. So I went straight to my gaff and I'm like, hey man, I'm brand new at this. I was like, I've cam up for a long time, but I don't know that much about lights. I could try and explain how I want things to work, but I'm going to rely heavily on you. But I'm being honest and open with you now because lots of first-time DPs try and have this big bravado about them, and they'll drag their gaff and his whole team through the fucking dirt, set things up, they're not quite right, and they can tell, gaffers can tell that you're not experienced, so people kind of overcompensate for it. So I just said, I'm not experienced at this, I know how I'd like things to look, but I'll work with you closely and build a scene together.
Your life as a director.
Yes.
I believe building the team is a big part of that.
Absolutely.
So how does it work for you and building your team and getting on these movies?
I mean, the way it worked for me was as I was cam-opping, on the side I started to direct music videos, like small ones, got bigger and bigger. I kind of came in at the tail end of like when you could make money from music videos. And then that kind of started to peter out, so I went into doing commercials, got a commercial agent, and then I went into second unit directing, did that, and eventually was given the opportunity to actually main unit direct. And through that process, you build a little tribe around you. I think that's the best thing a director can do, is surround himself with talented people to make his vision come to life, or her vision. Their vision. There you go.
All right, let's talk about gear. Is gear important, since we're here at Cine Gear?
I'm not much of a gearhead, to be honest. I've kind of, it's the right tool for the job. I think this is probably what a lot of people say. It's interesting here seeing other brands come and compete with the big boys. I saw the Omni bar yesterday actually, by Arri, which is super cool. It's the first time I've seen real innovation in the light tube section. Like you can tell that people have used them a lot, and the frustrations of using Titan tubes. They've like innovated it to like even have the little pass through for the zip ties and stuff like that. Like that was super cool. You can tell someone who's been like, some best boy's been like, this sucks. I'm going to invent something different, and it has worked with Arri, to bring those frustrations into the design of the new Omnibar.
The first thing we did talk about when we were at the line, lenses.
Lenses, yeah.
Tell me about how that shapes you.
I mean, lenses
as a director.
Yeah, lenses are absolutely a character, and they set the tone and visual language of your movie. Because you can pick a lens because it looks cinematic, but doesn't necessarily look filmic. Those are two different things, in my opinion. And so, like with Reckless, it's an action comedy. So, like, yes, I wanted it to look cinematic and like a movie, but I didn't necessarily need it to look filmic and grungy, which is why we didn't go for anamorphics. We went for Cook S4, like a spherical lens with a 2.5 crop on it. And I felt like that was a big part of it. Like I didn't want it to be super sharp and clean, but I also didn't want it to be gritty and grungy, like with some anamorphics with crazy chromatic aberration on the sides or something. So that was a nice mid-tone for us, where I was like, this looks like a film. It's not overlit, like Netflix style, but it still has character.
Two more things. For people out there that fall into this video and they're interested in storytelling, the one advice you would like to give them?
My biggest advice is no one gives a shit about your short film. And I mean that in the most...
I know who this message is going to go for. I know, you already know who you are. But
I just want people to know that. And it's not that I'm discouraging people from making short films, because short films are really good for learning and, understanding what it is that you like from film. But like when you make a short film, people tend to put a lot of money in them, and they're kind of a dead end, because a lot of people think, I'll make a short film and I'll put it in these festivals that no one's ever heard of, and I'll win a bunch of reefs no one gives a fuck about, and it ultimately ends with maybe the director gets some recognition, maybe the actors, but there's no gaff, there's no grip, being like, dude, I gripped the shit out of that short film. It just doesn't happen. So I feel like a lot of people do short film after short film after short film, whereas I feel like the energy you put into like 5 short films, you could take that and make a feature. And
that's great advice.
It's, once you've shown producers that you can carry something all the way through and then it gets sold, you're much more likely to make your next one, as opposed to, hey, I've made 5 short films, can you give me a feature film? It just doesn't really work like that.
You're in theaters right now. Tell people where they can find you.
I don't know. Just if you search Reckless, Scott Adkins 2026, you can find it in theaters across the States. I've just got back into the US after directing a commercial in the UK, so I'm yet to go see it in the theaters myself. But it's also on Apple TV. I think they put it on Amazon as well. Maybe like Fandango, I think has it. So yeah, anywhere that you get movies.
Elliott, such a pleasure. Thank you so much, guys. That's the first episode here for me here at Cine Gear. Thank you for my first interview ever here for this channel. Thanks so much.
See you later.
Pleasure. All right, Antonio. I mean, the reality is I've had a roadblock in my mind about the type of content I want to create for the YouTube channel that you're watching this on right now. And running into him, just when we were talking about what we were talking about, I'm like, hey, I wish I had this on camera. This is kind of like the inspiration for me, having this type of discussion, how people were able to step up the ladder, step up the ring to get to where they are. So if you're watching this now, more of this, and I'm not sure how much more of the Cine Gear I'm going to show you. Maybe I'll walk around, show you the B-rolls that I've done.
This type of content, in my opinion, is super cool because you're able to connect with people who are really in the industry, and that's what it is. That's what's really cool about Cine Gear, right? You can connect with people, ask the questions that you want to ask, and sometimes, people give you unexpected answers.
And this, not even that, he took the time to say, yeah, let's turn on the camera and talk about it.
Yeah, I mean...
And that was the crazy part.
And Ed just started talking to this dude while we were going through the security line.
Yeah.
I mean, that's awesome.
Because I'm, in my career here, being a storyteller, gear has always been a passion of mine. And that's why I went to Cine Gear. But a big part of it also is the stories behind the people working in the industry. And that's what me and Elliott were talking about when we were in line getting in. And I was just like, he just kind of put a spark in my head, like, wow, this is exactly what I want to talk about, aside from the gear, because the gear is the gear and it will get better, but people always ask me, what camera do you want to use? The one in your pocket is what I always say, because friction is really the thing that's stopping me. I buy a lot of cameras, I buy a lot of gear, and I get stuck in making stories. And hopefully, when you guys see this, follow my path. This is my first video in this genre of storytelling and how we get there. Antonio, thanks so much. Any more to say?
No, that's it. I mean, I'm really glad you're doing this. Ed is asking the type of questions that everyone wants to ask if you were put in the situation. But a lot of times people aren't brave enough to just go spark up a conversation with someone. So that's what I think is really different and special. I mean, I'm a very outgoing individual, but I wasn't even trying to talk to this dude.
No, you were.
Yeah, because I was just like, yo, let's get inside and get through security. But the thing is, it's so cool that you did that, because normal people wouldn't. And that's what I think makes Edmund special. And
thanks, man.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to gas you up, but the thing about this is that if you like this type of stuff, which I do, subscribe to this channel, follow this dude on all the socials, because this is a journey of my boy Edmund and me trying to break into new industries and really just trying to grow our skill set and things like that, and our connects.
We've worked together for over 30 years in the automotive industry and publishing and media. We continue to do that today.
I mean, not 30. You're like,
we're aging. I'm aging by a couple years. By 5 more years.
But it's not even 30. Yeah, okay.
It is almost 30 years.
25. Okay. I guess it's.
But anyway, I'm not going to shut it off here, because what I see now is I see some really cool stuff that I should show you. So stay tuned. I will show you like Jurassic Park right here, and we'll leave it at that. Keep following us. Please follow the channel, and thank you so much for let's do the show. Very convenient here at Easy Rig.
Especially when cheers to be there, like a New Year.
The more I travel, the more I realize that the best stories are rarely the ones you plan. They're found in conversations with strangers, shared over a great meal, or discovered while chasing something you don't fully understand yet. I'll probably never be the best filmmaker in the room, but I hope to become one of the best storytellers.
In the last 2 days here in Los Angeles, in Burbank at the Universal Studios, and everybody's tearing down now, and I'm having coffee. I started the day late today. I didn't get to really film, but the great part is I actually have the direction for this channel. I will continue to talk with people that inspire me, that take me to the next level of thinking, and that's what I'm going to dedicate this channel. So from here in Universal Studios, New York lot, or the back lot on New York Street, Edmund Austin, thank you so much for watching. Have a good day. Take care.